Hello, we are here for one more lesson of this T-FLEX analysis training course. And the topic for today will be the frequency analysis settings. We've done this in the other type of calculations before, so seeing a brief description of the calculation itself, and then to see also the different settings that the user is presented to choose when he goes and tries to solve the calculation that is defined, the study. So analysis, we've seen already all of this preparation and all of these steps to reach a result. Then when we go to solve, we get these dialog boxes, and these are the ones that I want to talk a little about. First, solving method we've seen previously, and this is the exact same concepts as for other studies. So we have three options: automatic assignment, direct, and iterative. Briefly, the automatic assignment, this is selected automatically based on the total number of equations. When we have direct, it will use a method called Gauss method. This takes a lot of RAM when compared with the last method, and we should use it only if we have that disponibility of RAM in our system. And this is the best method in small problems because it will not take so much time and so much capacity of your system. Finally, the iterative method, where the system of equations is solved by iterative methods, and the iterative method is trial and error. And this takes less RAM and also less time to calculate. We have settings for these two things. So we can choose solving method. So we have a couple of choices. And we've seen this also in previous videos because the options were the same. So accuracy and iterations. So this number of iterations, if you define a higher number, it will take more time. And the accuracy will be the tolerance to reach a result. In terms of interactive methods, we have also a couple of similar definitions. This bottom area below has the same options. In here, these solver parameters where we have these relative miscalculation, which in fact it's what we can call a tolerance, and the maximum number also to reach this tolerance. Then in this area here, which is called spectrum of natural frequencies, so we can calculate the number of frequencies to find. We can define a range, so activate or enable the option and then define the range inside settings. We have this option here, ignore mechanical loads. So we can ignore these loads, so they will not be taken into account. Then we can have in some with some setting, you see that some of these things, if they are activated or not, it will highlight or not other options. This option here, non-stationary system, use it in the case that restraints applied to the model are not enough to eliminate all the motion of the model in space. Option also that says don't calculate natural modes. This option increases calculation and saves memory. Then we have another group here called finite element model, where we can choose this option here, calculate using linear element. And this is interesting if the user wants only qualitative results, okay? And this option here, mass matrix diagonalization, sorry, this is a difficult word for me to say, but with this option enabled, the user decreases the amount of memory required to solve the system of linear equations. At the same time, the accuracy of the results becomes slightly worse, okay? Then we have also these thermal effects, where in this group we can have the temperature influence on the material properties. And this is quite easy. So first consider thermoelasticity. And with this option, the influence of the heat stress to the rigidity of the construction or the model or whatever you have. And the changes on the natural frequencies will be considered. We can consider also dependence of physical properties from the temperature. So with this activated, the material properties will be taken from the graphics that shows the dependence of the material properties on the temperature. And then we can have a couple of definitions, like a temperature of a non-stress state, where we can choose the units and a value. We can have also a uniform temperature for everything, or use a preset temperature that we may have defined over here. And we can use also thermal study results if we have them previously calculated. So after all of this, it is similar to other situations. We go to this table of the results, choose which results we want to obtain, and move on to the calculation. So these are the settings that we have available in terms of this frequency analysis. If you want to see more explanations, if you need help, I already mentioned it. We can give you all the support that you may need if you send us your questions or you send us a contact. But it is important also to see the videos we have, among other things, also about this topic. And you can find more information in our area, in our website, where we have much more materials published, and which allow you also to learn other topics beside exclusively what is inside these dialog boxes and these topics that we see in these videos.